the broadcasting. So English language has become global language for another reason, that is the cause of broadcasting. And Marconi system, built in 1895, carried telegraph port signals over a distance of miles. So when Marconi, so most probably the difference between broadcasting and advertisement and media. Broadcasting means through channel, radio, television, like that. So when Marconi invented radio, that radio signal only crossed 1 mile. But 6 years later, his signal had crossed the Atlantic Ocean. And in 1918, they had reached Australia. So again, the Marconi, the man who established, that is the radio signal. English was the first language to be transmitted by radio. Again, once again, we can make an analogy that English language, money talks, but in which language? Money talks in English language. Again, we have said that in advertisement, English has been expressed. And here, radio signal has been passed in a language. And what is the language? That is English language. When US physicist Renand A. Fessenden broadcast music, poetry, and a short talk to Atlantic shipping firm Rand Rock, Massachusetts, USA on Christmas Eve 1906. So in such a way, radio had been invented and radio signal started to broadcast from USA and UK. Within 25 years for Marconi's transmission, public broadcasting became a reality. Public broadcasting, that means news for the public and some proclamation for the public. The first commercial radio station was KDKA in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the first radio station in USA, which broadcast its first program in November 1920, an account of the Hardley or Cox presidential election result, 1920. And in 1922, in the USA, over 500 broadcasting station has been licensed within the 2 years, 2 years. You see, the first radio broadcasting has been done by the USA, and that was happened in 1920. And by 1922, within the 2 years, 500 broadcasting radio channels has been licensed. And in 1995, the total was 5,000, each for AM and for FM commercial station. Advertising revenue eventually became the chief means of support, as it later did for television. So scenario that the radio technology, that same transmitting technology will be used in case of television. So the radio initiated its first publication from Pennsylvania, USA, and next time it became a boom within the 2 years, and 500 radio channel was licensed in USA. In Britain, experimental broadcasts were being made as early as in 1919, even more earlier than USA. The British Broadcasting Company, next time Corporation, was established in 1922. It was a monopoly. No other broadcasting company was allowed until the creation of the Independent Television Authority is 1954. So in case of USA, BBC established in 1922 and up to 1954, that means nearly 32 years, British Broadcasting Company, BBC, had the monopoly for controlling radio channels all over the world. In contrast with the USA, BBC revenue came not from advertising, but from royalties on broadcasting equipments and public license systems, and eventually only the revenue. The first Director General, he published slogans for BBC, that is to inform, to educate, and to entertain. So from this way, the BBC had a great impact all over the world. And of course, BBC will be publishing some things and will be delivering to inform, to educate, and to entertain, of course, in English, and which proved to be a highly influential abroad. So such kind of information, such kind of program, radio program done by BBC for to inform, to entertain, and to educate was highly appreciated by the international community. In such a English language gained its position, and English language became the global language. During the early 1920 decades, English language broadcasting became in Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Okay, so an Indian broadcasting company had a station in Bombay and in Calcutta 1927. Okay, so BBC established there in Bombay and Calcutta. We have understood that this is the East India Company channel, isn't it? So here they also established their BBC Indian Broadcasting Company, that is the 1927. Most European countries commerce radio service during the same period as service proliferated. The need for international agreement, for example, over the use of wavelengths became urgent. Several organizations now exist, the largest being the International Telecommunication Union, created as early in 1965 to handle the probable of telegraphy. So you see the radio broadcasting, that was a boom, and that radio broadcasting, especially after the publications, after the establishment of BBC, nearly 32 years, BBC had a monopoly, and that BBC's audience, not from the UK, but from the other parts of this world, including New Zealand, Canada, Australia, including the other station, Bombay and Kolkata. That is the South Asian people has also entertained BBC during their time. And in this way, English language became the chief language for radio for nearly a decades. And that is the scenario. Uh, there are also several important organizations such as Commonwealth Broadcasting Organization Association, the European Broadcasting Union, as well as cultural and educational organization such as a London-based International Broadcast Institute. In that case, the Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union, for example, uses only English as an official language. So these are the broadcasting agency. We see that we can only speculate about how these media developments must have been influenced the growth of world English. So this is the scenario, and we can perceive that in which way the English language is spreaded all over the world through radio. Only a few indirect indication exists. For example, in 1994, about 45% of the world radio receivers were in those countries have the English language as a special status. But what such figures say in real terms about exposure to English in anyone's guess? So English has become the international language in such a way through the publications of English. Most other countries showed sharp increase in internal broadcasting during the top years, and several launched English language radio programs such as the Soviet Union, Italy, Japan, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Germany, Sweden. No comparative data are available about how many people listen to each language provided by these services. However, if you list the language in which these countries broadcast, it is noticeable that the only of this language has placed on each of the top list, that is the English. So in this way, English language became the global language through the radio channel all over the world. So thank you very much for attending